Okay, so you guys start playing together, and eventually you started recording your first demo. And the name The Black Keys has an interesting story behind it. There was a guy that was schizophrenic.
Yeah, he was an artist. He was schizophrenic. He lived in a group home in Akron, and he was very out there. He used to wear like 5 3-piece suits all at the same time on top of each other. And he would do these roles. They were 4 foot by like 20 foot. They were like funeral processions with like big long Cadillacs, and like the chief of police would have big earrings and high heels, and like it was wild. But my dad, he was a folk art dealer. He linked up with him and would help him get his art supplies and stuff. He would bring him over to the house. And Pat's dad was a journalist for the local paper and did a story on this guy. So we both had this weird connection. We both knew this artist named Alfred McMoore, and he used to leave these voice messages on both of our voicemails at home. So we'd get home from school, and it would be like, Chuck, you better bring me pipe tobacco and crayons, and if you don't bring them, you're a black key. And he would always, that was like his thing. He would call people. And so when we were trying to come up with a name, Pat suggested Black Key, and it was like instantly, I knew exactly what he was talking about, and we never even second guessed it, and that was it.
Yeah, we'd have like hundreds of these messages over the course of a year. We're just like, I need pipe tobacco. You're D flat. You're Black Key. So yeah, that was like, once we decided we were going to form the band, which, that was the only name that was ever considered.
Okay, so now you guys are the Black Keys. You put your demo together, and you start sending demos to all of these labels. And one of them accepted. That was Alive Records?
Yeah, Alive. Well, a couple of them sort of, we only heard from a couple. One of them was like in Washington State, and they're like, if you come here and play for us, we might sign you. But, we never played a show, and we'd never been that far away from home, so that wasn't possible. But then we finally heard from this label Alive out of Burbank, California, tiny little label, subsidiary of Bomp Records, which is kind of a cool, iconic punk label. But anyway, they reached out and offered us a deal. They said, you send me, 12 songs, we'll put out your record.
It was essentially like, send us an album, we'll put it out, and then we'll give you 50 LPs on vinyl and give you 200 CDs. And then they sent us this little contract. It was like one paragraph, and like we just signed it. And it's like the most bulletproof thing you've ever seen in your life.
We've had our lawyers working on it for 20 years.
It's like the most genius little paragraph where it's impenetrable, and which is fine because we got out there with that. But to this day, like for a while there, we were getting like 12% of what they sold the record to a distributor. So we were getting like 12% of $7. So like 73 cents an album or something. And like the way we kind of renegotiated that contract way long down the line was we got an ad for a British online gambling company to use a song off that record for 150,000 pounds per side. And we just re-recorded it and licensed our new version and just said we were going to keep doing that until we could renegotiate the deal. Because what happened is the song on that record became the theme song to the show Hung. And that generated a decent amount of income, especially at the time. So we invented the Taylor Swift tactic years ago.
Oh, re-recording your old songs?
Yeah.
Right, and the song was I'll Be Your Man.
Yeah. I believe so.
Okay.
The theme song that Hung was I'll Be Your Man, and this ad was busted.
Right. So the debut album is The Big Come Up.
Yeah.
Now, why did you guys stick to a two-man band as opposed to actually getting like a bassist and maybe a keyboard player or whatever else?
Well, we were from Akron, Ohio. Like, there were no places really to play. If we wanted to play a show, we had to drive down to Columbus or up to Cleveland. So finding musicians was really hard, and we wanted to have other musicians. We had a third guy in the band when we first started. A friend of ours that we went to high school with. He was playing like Moog bass synthesizer for us, but he just stopped coming to practice. And we auditioned a couple people, and it was weird, man. It was like every time we would get someone else in the room with us, it felt like our sound got smaller. You know what I mean? That like it was just like it was bigger, just two of us. And so when we got the record deal, it was just two of us, and that's how it went, you know?